Good morning, everyone. Welcome to How to Book Cruises with Krista, special edition. We are going to be going through the ins and outs of cruising. Again, you guys, have a choice when you come to trainings, and I'm glad that all of you guys have joined me here today to get this information from somebody who has actually spent a good portion of time on a cruise ship. You guys, you can either take information from somebody that reads a lot or somebody that's experienced and done it. And I'm glad that all of you have come to go through that with me. I do have over 100 days at sea across multiple cruise lines. So this list has been compiled for years. I think I went on my very first cruise when I was 12 years old. And I have been cruising more consistently in the last decade. I think I started cruising again when my oldest was 9, and he will be 18 next month. So let's go ahead and share my screen. Let's go up here. All right, you guys. Also, you guys, just so you guys are very aware, anytime you guys see any cruise photos that I post, whether it be in these presentations or in my flyers, anytime it has to do with a cruise, they are pictures that I have personally taken. So this cruise photo here, it probably looks like I am outside of the cruise ship, right? But I don't. I actually had a bubble out room, meaning that it kind of stuck out for the side of the ship. And so I did reach over just a little bit to get this shot. But I just wanted you guys to know that these are pictures that I personally took, did not take them from the internet. So let me go ahead and put up, yes, Travel by Tilly on YouTube, you guys. Travel by Tilly on YouTube. All right, again, my name is Krista Wiley. I am a double gold consultant, you guys, and also it is important for me to tell you that my cruising is not just been from a family standpoint. I have also cruised. I've cruised with my family. I've cruised with friends. I've cruised in large groups. And I have cruised just my husband and I. So I've taken it from all sides. Ironically enough, before I became a travel agent, I used to book group cruises all the time. Wasn't making the commission, so that kind of stunk. But all right, you guys. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure to leave these slides up for a little while, so that way you guys can take pictures. There are going to be some slides that are a little wordy, and I apologize, but I did it so that you guys could take a picture. Now I have a question, you guys. I have the chat box up over here on the right hand side. Does it show a like a gray box? Can you guys tell that my chat box is open? Put it in the chat for me. No? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure my chat box doesn't interfere with what's on the screen. All right, you guys. Our cruise leaves next month, right? Like cruising takes lots of planning. So as the days get closer, your brain goes into overdrive as the passenger. Here are some things to make sure are already completed. First, check in online. This helps for a speedy check-in at the embarkation port. Yes, it is normal for them to be asked to input a credit card. This is what will be used for onboard expenses. If your client prefers paying their onboard expenses with cash, they do have that option, but will have to pay down their tab every day. Inquire with specific cruise lines. So I know for me personally, one of the cruises that I went on was with my best friend and my oldest, and we were obviously in the same cabin, and she wanted to make sure that she was paying for hers and I was paying for mine. And so what we did was I think mine was on my card, and then she would just pay her portion with cash. So my card wasn't attached to her account. But that is going to be cruise line specific. So if there's somebody who wants to use cash, instead of getting that absorbent cost at the end, they are able to do that. The next one is going to be print out luggage tabs. When they arrive to the embarkation port, porters will promptly take your luggage you want and you want your bags labeled already to speed up the process. Here is a link to a cool luggage tag to secure your paper tags. Now there are 2 links. You guys make sure I did, I think it's called hyperlinking. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but basically where you take a really, really, really long link and you put it through a process and you make it a shorter link. But throughout this entire presentation, there are going to be lots of links for you guys. So compatible with Royal Caribbean and celebrity tags, and then all other cruise lines. Now you guys can save these, you guys can look them up right now, whichever you prefer. But these luggage tags are actually plastic, and they have like a strong metal. And so it looks like kind of like a Ziploc bag, but obviously very thick plastic material. But they go ahead and they put their paper luggage tags in there, they seal it up, and then that way it is nice and secure. What I have found in all of my cruising, the problem is that people will take the paper luggage tags, they'll put it on and then they'll staple it or tape it. And because it is paper, obviously paper rips. So the paper luggage tags, they'll rip, and then they have a little bit harder time finding what room your luggage tag or which room your luggage belongs to. So I just use those, and I actually have them on my, I keep them on my luggage at all times. So it's kind of funny, even when I'm not cruising, sometimes I have cruise luggage tags on there. All right, packing, the worst part of the whole trip. You guys, who thinks packing is the worst part of the whole trip? Any trip, you guys, right? Like packing stinks. It comes down to packing it and then weighing it and then taking things out, and then you got to leave enough space because everybody knows that you're going to buy something, right? Hashtag me, I'm doing it right now. Are you guys, so this picture right here on the right hand side, this is our luggage. We took a cruise 9 years ago, and it was my very first Alaskan cruise. And we actually took the train from LA up to Seattle, spent a couple days in Seattle, and then took the train from Seattle to Vancouver, Canada, where we got on the cruise ship. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this black and gray bag over here. That bag is actually completely full of food and water. Because you were able to bring your own food and water on the train. So I was able to pack enough, just snacks and water and stuff, things that we didn't need to spend money on there. And then because it was a duffel bag, I was able to crumple it up and throw it in a suitcase. But this was the luggage for 3 of us. So you guys can see it's quite a bit of stuff. I don't know who has the iPhone, but you're scribbling on the screen. I don't know if you know that you're doing that. It may be accidental. So you guys, we all know the typical things to pack, but it's the things that you don't think of that you'll need the most. Remember, your client is on a ship, not a hotel. They can't just hop on down to the local store. I can't tell you how many times I've medicated table mates. Now, table mates, you guys, you're probably like, what in the heck is a table mate? So for those of you that have never been on a cruise, a couple of things. One, when you go to the main dining hall, you usually are sat at a larger table than just your party. So if it's you and another person cruising, you might be at a table with like 6, meaning that you're going to have other people that you don't know. Now, this is something that you guys can choose when you are booking the trip table size. You can do a table of 6, a table of 8, 10, or just for your party. Now, you guys, I'm all about meeting people. For those of you that have gone to any of my trainings or have ever met you, I always tell you there's no such thing as strangers, just people I've never met. Now, when we took our 18-day cruise, not that I didn't love my son and my roommate and my best friend, but I wanted to get to know other people. So I wanted to we wanted to sit with other people and get to know other people. And we actually sat at a table with a husband and wife from England. And so we got to really know over 18 days, those people from England and the way of life and all of those other things. So that was super neat. So that's what I mean by table mates. I've actually met One cruise I sat with honeymooners, I sat with sisters, and I actually still talk to one of those sisters till this day. She lives in Texas, and we've kind of followed each other. So it's kind of neat just to get to know people. Same thing when you guys go to the buffet. I know you guys, I'm not talking COVID right now. I'm talking, you know, the way cruise was and the way cruise will get back to going. But even when you guys go to the buffet, how many times do you walk around? You're like, oh, there's no tables, but you see a table, you know, that maybe sits six, but there's only 2 people sitting at it. It is very common practice for people to say, hey, do you mind if I sit here? And so you really get to know people, and you know, you get to share that experience. For a fairly comprehensive list, please visit this link. I say fairly because even it's missing a few things, but it is a good place for you guys to get started. It's kind of an interactive checkbox kind of a thing. Here is a list of my must-haves for every cabin. So I say cabin, basically for every party, right? So for me, because we usually travel with 6, we always have 2 cabins. So within those 2 cabins, we always have this information. Okay, so you guys, a small pharmacy to include motion sick medicine. You guys, this is a question that comes up a lot. My 2 recommendation is Meclizine. It's over the counter. They usually sell it in 25 milligrams, and the dose for Meclizine is 25 milligrams to 50 milligrams. I tell people always to start with 25 and then work up to 50 milligrams. Now, if you're somebody that's inclined to motion sickness, like me, I actually start taking my motion sick medicine 24 hours prior to getting on the cruise ship. Over the counter, so that's over the counter, and I take it every morning. The second option is scopolamine transdermal patches. It is a prescription. They're patches that go behind the ear, and they last for 72 hours. And you guys, trust me, I've tried everything. I have tried Dramamine. I've tried pressure point bands. I've tried the gamut. I have tried them all. You guys, I literally, like, if you talk about motion sickness, I have it the worst of anyone I have ever met. I literally get motion sick if I were to spin around in a circle in my office chair. Like, I would get sick. So people always tell me, then why do you cruise? Because I love cruising. I'm not going to let my motion sick stop me from cruising. So again, if you know, Meclizine over the counter, that's actually what I use now. I used to use the transdermal patches, but a couple of cruises ago, I made the mistake of actually touching the patch and touching my eye, and it made my vision blurry for a couple of days. So thankfully,